All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to another episode of We Create Music TV. I, of course, am your host, Vaughan, and today we have music producer and audio engineer, Drumz Rosez.
I appreciate you for having me.
Man, appreciate you being here, brother.
No problem, man.
Yeah, man.
No problem.
So, for all of our audience members who are watching, let's talk about how you got started in music.
My nephew, back at home from Milwaukee, my nephew started doing music real young, about early teenager, 12, 13. So him, a couple of his friends used to take songs and, take the instrumental and just go over it and just, they was just building everything. And I didn't really take them serious. I just thought it was just fun. But when I started seeing how they was progressing and moving, it inspired me a lot to want to work with him and everything. And that's as far as getting into music, but I always been just real music crazy. I used to work with my dad since I was like 11. And he was real big on the Temptations. So every day, that's all we listened to. So I was just always listening to it. I played trumpet in school, I didn't stick with it, but I used to just be interested in instruments, trumpets, saxophone, stuff like that. So the music interest has always been there, as far as I can go all the way back to the 50s with music I listened to. But then, so I really want to get involved. I want to see my nephew start really, really pursuing how he was doing it. I started researching more about different things behind the scenes, because I never wanted to be an artist and be in the front center. I didn't know anything about behind the scenes. So I started going in depth more behind the scenes. I learned about production, audio engineering, and I just started self-teaching myself a lot of stuff. YouTube, man. YouTube is the best.
Man, YouTube is like just a whole school in itself.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I got started. And then after that, I started doing a lot of my own. I ended up going to sign up for school. I went to Full Sail.
Okay.
But once I seen what Full Sail was charging me, and I'm like, whoa, I can't even do it. And then I was online at Full Sail, because I'm in Milwaukee and Full Sail is in Orlando. Yeah. So I felt I needed hands-on. I met someone in my city named Busy, and he was in school for audio engineering, and he was doing music. So we linked up. He had an ad on Craigslist, and I was putting ads on Craigslist, like free, beats, just trying to get people to recognize me. So me and him linked up from there. That was about 2009, I want to say.
Okay.
We started exchanging, sounds and different things, and he started telling me what more he was doing. He was still learning. So he was in school. I was YouTube. He was school. So he was the technical way, and I was just the YouTube freelance way.
Okay.
But everything he would do, and he would teach me some stuff, so I would incorporate his stuff in their minds, and I just kept growing everything. Man, just building relationships.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that is so funny. Full Sail, because Full Sail will cost you one of these and one of these. Man, from all, yeah.
They got some. If you go into Full Sail on campus, you gonna really learn something. But as far as online, the best thing you're gonna get from there is the equipment, in my opinion, because they're gonna give you the computer, they're gonna give you the keyboard, MIDI controller, the headphones, the Pro Tools, Logic, the mic. They're gonna give you everything you need to go in and really work on yourself. But if you ain't ready to pay, there's other ways.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean, especially from a hands-on perspective, because music really is hands-on. Especially when you get into like audio engineering. I mean, you have DAWs today that have SSL mixes in them and things like that, but there's nothing like touching the real thing and pushing up the real slide and hitting the real button. The real buttons.
Hands-on, everything gives you more of a genuine raw feeling. So it's more natural, and it's just something that's indescribable. It's just it's kind of like cooking your own food versus someone else preparing your food. Like, you know what they want. You might be good and everything, but when you do it yourself and you actually learn how to do it, all right, I can make this for everybody now. Yeah. So I like the hands-on experience, but I try doing everything via over internet and like learning everything. But today's age, you can do it. You can do a lot of stuff, but to me personally, you will need some hands-on experience and everything, because once you get in a hands-on experience environment, what are you gonna do?
Right. Well, that's the difference between just having knowledge and then applied knowledge, right? And so you can learn everything you want on YouTube University, right? But if you have no way to really, if you have no way to really apply what you're learning, then you just obtain just knowledge, but you don't really have applied knowledge, because when you find yourself in a situation where, you know, you get somebody in the studio and they're like, yo, I need you to come down and engineer the session. You're like, you know, you got, can I just use the Pro Tools and not having to use an external mixing gear and none of that? Yeah, you find yourself in a situation. But yo, I think it was funny that even before any of these beat selling platforms existed, y'all were pushing beats on Craigslist.
Yeah, I was on Craigslist. Yeah, I sure put an ad up there. Hey, beats, email me, or I had a sign my SoundClick page.
Oh yeah,
SoundClick, and that's where a lot of traffic went through. So that's not just starting out. That's crazy. I think about it.
But hey, when you think about it, you think about using whatever methods you can in order to get out there. I mean, now today we have BeatStars and Airbit and all these other social platforms where you can sell music on. But back then you didn't, and I would say back then, even 2009, 2008, you didn't have beat selling platforms.
SoundClick was like the biggest one.
SoundClick was the biggest one.
I remember, what's the name? Kane SoundClick. Kane Beats, that's where Lil Wayne found him at. And he produced Bad Rock and everything. They found him on SoundClick.
SoundClick.
I just knew somebody was gonna find me on SoundClick. I swear I did. And looking for the methods and the way I did it, like they say there's no really right or wrong way to do it, but you learn from certain ways you've done. Like if I look at when I did everything now, I mean back then, I wouldn't change it because it helped me get to where I'm at now. But I would do certain things different. It's just with knowledge and growth. So,
well, what would you do differently?
Practice my craft more. I definitely would spend more time versus practice my craft versus jumping out there. Because when I first started producing, I first learned about Fruit Loops from someone who I used to know.
FL.
Yeah, FL Studio, man. Look, you can't go wrong with FL Studio. I don't like any DAW, but the creativity and flow of FL, I use FL Pro Tools and somewhat Logic. But FL and Pro Tools creativity to me is just magnificent.
Yeah.
So when I first learned about FL Studio, I didn't know what it was. I'm thinking I needed a drum machine and a keyboard. That's how I was gonna start making. So when I first learned about FL, a friend of mine, he put me on it, and I went and bought, I think I was making like part-time job, maybe $200 every week. So I went on Craigslist, found the laptop. I thought I had I don't know the difference between MacBook or nothing at that time. So I found the old Apple laptop, PowerBook G4.
Oh man,
2005.
Oh wow,
G4 processor. So I found that, and I thought I could put FL Studio on it. So when I bought that, dude sold it to me for like $100. So when I bought that, I got home like, what is this? It's like it won't take FL, but it had GarageBand on it. I loaded up GarageBand, taught myself GarageBand from scratch. Didn't know nothing, just played with it, and just I'm like every night, no sleep, just steady working on it, and it was rough. But when I got it down, and started learning certain things, about a month later, I went and bought another small Windows laptop, and I had the Fruit Loops demo. So then I finally got Fruit Loops. I'm like, okay, I know certain things. Certain things were still different because Fruit Loops, you click in everything, and on GarageBand, it wasn't clicking in. I had to play it out. I had to get a MIDI controller. M Audio 25 Axiom.
Actually, I have one.
I had that.
Yeah.
Pads didn't even work on it. So it was. I was just moving, just trying to learn everything. And as soon as I started learning how to put certain drums and sounds together, who need beats? You know, I'm a producer. I can do all this, but if I look at it now, it took time to actually practice my craft and get it together more, because once I started doing the beats, I didn't even know what track outs was. Tracking the beats, these stem files. You know, I had somebody ask like, "You track all your files out?" I'm like, "If you want to,
yeah, sure,
sure, go ahead, you can do it." I don't know. So when I started learning about the mixing process of the beats and leveling your sounds out, and I'm learning like that's actually the most important part. Because if I send you a track and the horns is a lot louder than the drums, what can you do with it?
You got that right.
So once I stopped making beats and started learning the mixing process, when I started going to Full Sail, and they sent me all the equipment, I was like, I was doing everything wrong. So I started taking my time, learning more about the mixing. And I'm like, this is a whole nother world by itself. So then I had a friend who I was working with. I'm like, this is what we need to focus on. We were trying to do it together.
Okay.
And he was like, you know, people ask how much his beats cost. He can make beats for real fast. But the quality of them weren't good. No beats were tracked out. 100 beats, no files. Just all lost.
Wow.
And I'm like, we need to focus on mixing right now. And his words were like, well, you focus on mixing. I'm going to keep making beats. Somebody asked him how much he charged for a beat. He was like, $500. And I'm like, I don't think we should be going about it this way, because if you charging it, what kind of like, I'm like, it's got to be more than just saying here's $500 and here's just to be. I'm like, it's got to be more to this. So once I started doing more research on it and seeing what we were missing and what wasn't getting done right, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna step back and try to focus on mixing more. He's like, oh, well, you do that, I'm gonna keep doing this. So I didn't see him about 4 months maybe. I seen him at the store. And I started telling him stuff I've been learning. He was like, I need to learn it. Everybody been telling me I need to work on mixing now. I'm like, that's what I've been trying to tell you. I actually linked him with the guy who was teaching me busy. And he offered him lessons, at a certain price and everything. He don't want to pay for them though. I'm like, well, you gotta, some kind of sacrifice gotta get made because you want to grow.
I mean, it's an investment into your craft. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I look at it. I used to think like, why am I gonna pay for these sounds or something like that? But it's an investment. It's a big investment,
it's
especially if you want
investment.
It's like a car. You're gonna buy brakes or you're gonna ride it out.
Right.
Brakes, you're just gonna get you to work. It's gonna squeal. So you gotta look at what you want to invest in. If you really want to invest in, that's like one of the most important things. Investing and just patience. Gotta have patience.
So do you think those are? So when you look at the music industry today, do you think those things that you just mentioned are prevalent within the music culture today?
Certain artists. There's a lot of artists are social media. That's they look for social media stardom. If you got 5 million followers or however thousands followers, you made it. That's they feel you made it. But I can go to social media right now and go to a guy who I know who has 2,000 followers, but he just produced on Kanye's album. So he has 2,000 followers and he has produced on Kanye's album and has these connections versus this person who has 30,000 followers who's still saying, stream this or whatever, or I'm about to do this or whatever. Not saying he's not going in a good position, but this guy right here has already certain established points, and he was like, it took me, same guy I'm talking about actually produced on Lil Wayne's album. He said Lil Wayne is the reason he started producing 10 years ago in 2008 when the Carter came out, so 12, Carter 3. He said he started working on music at that time. And he just been working, trying to get everything together. And he got a Lil Wayne placement. Like, I think today, what a lot of newer generation lacks is the craft and creativity. A lot of them blow up overnight over social media, and that's what gives them their fame. I was reading what Tory Lanez was saying, and he made a great point. He said a lot of artists who come out, you call them one-hit wonders and stuff, he said it's because they haven't worked on that. Like, you have artists like him or Jay-Z, just them in that platform, that plateau, who worked. Jay-Z was selling CDs out his trunk, been working at it for years. So when it's time to put out a #1 song, a #1 album, they know what they're looking for. They like, oh, boy, it's easy because we've been doing this. So our not creativity, our workflow and everything has been the same. They don't one hit, and I was like, how do I follow up with this?
Yeah.
They've been doing it so they can keep everything going. You got certain people who, like you said, blow up overnight, and then it's like, how do I keep up with this?
Yeah.
They're trying to keep up with their self, and they don't know how. It's like, how do I do this?
Yeah, there's no sustainability in what they're doing because, they blow up overnight, but they don't really have the craft or the consistency or the work ethic or even the know-how to even continue, right? So there's really no return on investment. It's so crazy because I was talking to somebody probably last week, about the same thing, about social media followers and the return on investment. Now, you can have 500,000 social media followers, but there's no return on investment, if there's no engagement, if there's no reciprocity as far as what you're putting out and people buying stuff, it don't matter how many social media followers you got. I know guys today that got less than 5,000 followers, but are some of the most influential people in the music industry.
One of the engineers I follow, he mixed, he just worked on Beyonce with the Lion King and everything. He got 2,300 followers, real humble and everything, and he does sound design for video games, and but he knows everybody, and he's so well connected and everything. It's like, you go past his page. I know people who just like, how many followers you got? I'm gonna go past him. Yeah, that's the one you need to be contacting.
Yeah, and that's that's the mentality I see that happens through social media. It's like, if you don't have a certain level of followers, then people are going to pass you over.
Yep.
But you could be the most influential. You can know everyone, have all the connections that you need, and they're like, well, you ain't got,
And it's crazy. It's like, and then I think what coming up in the digital era, like me, I was born in '88, so I was there when it transformed to the digital era. So I had the best of this one.
That's right.
Leave your bikes outside. That's like
I love it
over there. I love all that. It's street lights is on. Hey, it's time to go
Time to go
home.
home.
Versus to now where my 13-year-old son has a phone, cell phone. I was 13. I'm like,
We had no phone. We had a pay phone.
yes, like
We had a
I
rotary
no
phone.
Like, mama, I'm about to go outside. I'll be back. All right, lights come on, come back in.
That's
And
right.
That's it. You have to be back.
You got to be back on the lights come on.
With the digital era now, like it's amazing to see how everything is created and how stuff goes, to see how the fire goes, but it's also scary because to me, the digital, like a lot of the digital ways, the way it's going, it dumbs down people's intellectual. My son, I tell him look up something on the phone. He asks, no. I tell him no. Type it, spell it, keep it going, keep your mind sharp. They already took cursive out of school, so it's how you gonna sign your name? So with the digital era, it's scary, but then it's if you able to intertwine all of it together, I think you could be deadly.
Yeah.
Like if a lot of the newer generation can reach back and to grab stuff from Tupac, you can reach back. You can reach back and grab stuff from how his workflow was. I think they say he recorded and finished his last album, Machiavelli, in 7 days. Recorded, written, everything in 7 days.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Tupac, he was, man.
That's right. It'd take me 7 days to write one verse. This is why I would not be an artist. This is not for me.
Man, I know we're saying, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they said when he got out of jail, I don't remember. Did he put out 5 albums after he got out of jail?
When he got out of jail, because Me Against the World was there before he went. That was number 1.
It was before he went.
He put out All Eyes on Me, which was supposed to be 2 albums, but he controlled
them to.
Then he put out Machiavelli.
Okay.
I believe he had a 3-album deal with Death Row.
And that's what happened.
That was 3 albums right there. And then that's when he died.
But man, I'm gonna tell you, when he started making All Eyes on Me and then Machiavelli with Hail Mary, dude. Yeah, those two albums right there was just
listen to it. It's like, and that's what I mean by the work process and the consistency. Look how he put out them 2 albums. Like he did he got home. They said he went straight to the studio. All Eyes on Me. He put that together, and it was like for that time, like who was doing that? The music he was talking about, and then with him having a old spirit, all his music. I listen to his music now. I'm like, oh, he got that idea from on Me Against the World. I think it's number 12. He got a song called "Can You Get Away." I listened to it. I'm like, oh, he sampled that from Happy Feelings. Like, okay, he had a lot of his music was from before his time or growing up during old soul. I said, okay, so a lot of his ideas came from then. He just turned it around and flipped it. You listen to his creativity, his consistency, and how he did it. 2 album double disc, first person to do that. You think he'd sit back for a while?
he went back in the studio making more stuff.
We're gonna come right back, and then he brought Machiavelli out. That right there was just like a whole nother caliber.
Machiavelli was.
Me and my girlfriend, that's like one of my favorite songs. And to think that everybody thought he was talking about his girlfriend. He was talking about his gun. Just the whole with the wordplay. And when I listen to it now, being an audio engineer, the effects they used on that song, he used a lot of reverse reverb.
Well, come on, the dream was
but it was before his time. Like it was. I don't know anyone who was doing that at that time. It's crazy.
But that's because Dre was a master at what he did. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
that's the consistency. That's the only crafting your work and everything. Just making mistakes. Like I worked on tracks and made mistakes. Like, oh, this is great. this is a good mistake. Let me keep doing this. So write this down. Like you just practice, man. It's just like basketball. Like LeBron ain't the best right now because of just sitting down. And, some people have it naturally, but to actually hone those skills and keep working at it, it just sends you to a whole nother place.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's crazy.
So man, so let's take a moment. I want to talk specifically about your own personal sacrifices and challenges that you had to face within this music business. And what did you learn from that?
I think one of the biggest sacrifices that I've made and anyone doing this will make is time. Because you lose so much time and you put in so much time without without seeing results, and you know, you just like, I'm done. Sonny Digital said he was doing it about, I think, 8 years and nothing. And he was like, if I don't do nothing after this track, I'm done. And that's when everything happened for him.
Wow.
Zayto said when Migos and them had that Versace with Drake on it, he was still cutting hair in the barbershop. He said he heard it in the barbershop. When he got on, he was like, it's all out in California. He couldn't believe it. So, you know, I think time is one of the biggest sacrifices that you make, especially when you have kids, family, you know, relationships, because you're taking time from them to try to invest and make you into, you know, do what you want to follow you. And it's, you know, you fight with that. You know, am I being selfish? You know, because they didn't have to be here. So trying to balance your time out, that's another thing I would have really took my time with, balancing time out. Balancing your time out, that'll really help you. You get a plan as far as balancing time. You learn how to do it. All right, I'm gonna do 2 hours on music today, and then the rest I have to do this. But you know, trying to work a job, like I was trying to work, I had a full-time job, school full-time, work on music, kids, you know, everything, family at home. So it's like, where do you have time for anything? So, you know, come home exhausted, 8, 12-hour shifts, still working on music and everything. So, you know, 3-4 hours of sleep, get back up, do the same thing over again. You know, like they don't see a lot of those sacrifices. And, you know, some people think that, you know, if you ain't, you hear a lot of the stories where people, I slept in my car, you know, a lot of single people or a lot of people have no response, no kids. Not taking nothing from them, because sacrifice is sacrifice. But you don't hear a lot of the other stories where people sacrifice so much time. You know, and time is one of the most, it's nothing you can get back. Nothing. Like you go to work, they pay you some hours for an hour or so many hours of your time. Your life still is not worth that. I don't care how much money. $30 an hour is still not worth an hour of your life. You can't put a price on a time frame of your life because you can't get that back. So that right there is just so valuable.
Yeah, you definitely can't get it back. And so you have to have the ability to really prioritize where you're going to spend your time on the things that are truly the most important for you and your situation that you find yourself in. You know, my wife and I, man, we always get into conversations because we have the conversation around everybody has the same 24 hours. And then, you know, what you do with that 24 hours is up to you. And I get the perspective, but I'm always of the mindset is like, yeah, but I don't have the same 24 hours that, you know, this other person may have.
There's 24 hours maybe.
But we do have 24 hours. It's the same. But if I wanted to have that person's same 24 hours, I would have to quit my job. I couldn't go to work for 9 hours a day and come home tired and work on music because, you know, you get up, you do whatever you do, exercise, whatever it is, you make beats from, you know, 9 to 3. Well, I'm at work at 9 to 3. I'm in meetings. Half of that from 9 to 12, maybe I may not take a lunch because I'm working on stuff. But then again, once again, that's a choosing, right? I'm choosing to do that because of the job that I'm in. But yeah, it's true that we may have the same 24 hours, but the situations we find ourselves in and utilizing those same 24 hours definitely ain't the same.
Right. Like I know someone who wakes up, sometimes don't even eat breakfast, just go straight to music and everything. I'm like, hey, what you doing that? You know, I'm at work. I still, I'm working 8 hours right now, and on breaks, I go in the car and hook my computer and everything up. Let me work on this right here. Let me try to fix this right now. Let me squeeze 10 minutes in. Let me do 15, try to get this in right here just so I can, I got the sound in my head that I can't get rid of. So let me just put it in real quick so I can keep it. All right, let me get back in here and go to work. All right, let me do homework with the kid, stuff like your 24 hours, we have the same, but yours is different. We have the same 20 hours, ours is different. You may have 18 hours booked in yours. Somebody else may have 6 hours booked, and they have more free time to do it. But then it amazes me how someone with so little time can still get so much done versus someone who has all this time. I think that's the uncomfortable and the pressure of, all right, I only have 2 hours to do this. So I'm going to make this 2 hours usable. I'm going to utilize this and get what I can. Then versus someone's like, I got enough time. Yeah, it's the time for it's the logic of the mind thinking of it versus someone who's pressurized and crunched. Like, I need this done. I got to do this, or I want to, and they really want it for themselves, or for just for them around them. Like, I really want it. It's just that drive.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, you got to have that drive and that perseverance so that when you're working those 9-hour days, you come home, you still spend time with the family, and you say, you know what? Okay, now I'm going to go make some beats. But to be all fair and honest, sometimes I come home, spend time with the family, and then I want to go make beats, and I watch YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you realize you can spend a lot of time on YouTube.
Watching somebody else do what I should be doing.
Okay, yeah. And I look at it as a learning process also.
Yeah, you know. So I got to make sure that even for me and even for anybody watching, you know, you make sure that you really prioritize your time specifically for the things that you really want to do, the things that are truly important for you. That way you can ensure that you are focusing on the things that you want and you're receiving the rewards and benefits that you want from those. But man, yeah, trust me, I completely understand.
Time, man.
Time, brother, time.
Time is important.
You got that right. All right, so what personal sacrifices? I know time is a real big one. Have there been any others that you kind of had to deal with and really learn from those things?
My biggest one, like I said, has been time. But other personal sacrifices, I would say, is like a lot of events and certain things going on. I couldn't, like, especially being back at home, I couldn't attend a lot of them. Kids was younger, so I couldn't go to them. So a lot of the events, like Vaughan, Payday, all them, they would call 40 minutes, you know, hey, this is going on, and I couldn't go. I just, you know, like, for one, I don't, just having kids makes you, you know, such a protective mind frame. So I really didn't like, I wasn't a person just, hey, I'm leaving my kids off with you just because you're my cousin. I keep you watching. You know, you hear a lot of horror stories about family the ones hurting your family. So, and it's just like, you didn't ask to be here. I brought you here. I'm gonna protect you. To the best I can. So, if I can't go to this, you know, no matter who's there, it might be such a benefit right now. Well, I just can't go. I gotta sacrifice. It may hurt. I may want this, but I couldn't live with myself knowing that you've gotten hurt because of something that act on me that I would have told when I could have waited. So a lot of events and everything, I sacrificed and couldn't attend, which probably could have had me, or I could have had certain connections that I don't have now. But I wouldn't trade it. You know, I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah, I mean, everything's a learning experience that gets you to where you are today. That's right.
Like my son will be 14 in a couple of weeks, and he's big on music. He sees me in the studio. I take him with me. Him and his brother, they're 10, 14. They want to do stuff, and they're in this area to where they're social media. They have so many friends, and people was like, you know, and I said, all right, you know what? You my investment.
Yeah. Just give me FL Studio.
Yeah, that's, you know, I sit down and work on this. I'm gonna see what you can do. So he's intrigued by you know, sports, social media, want to learn stuff. So I've been trying to take them more. I feel like those sacrifices I did by not going there, because a lot of times when I didn't go to stuff like that, I stayed at home and just worked on stuff. So it helped me in the long run. It really did.
But yo, shout out to the homies though.
Yeah.
Payday, 40 mil. Vaughan say. Yeah. But yeah, definitely a big shout out to the homies.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, I mean, just being able to juggle many different things within your own life to get kind of where you are today. A lot of people have different ones for them, but it really is, what do you learn from those things, and what can you learn to help propel you to the next level?
The whole thing is to grow. If you don't grow from none of it, then it was a waste.
Oh yeah, man. So let's talk about your music.
Okay.
Let's talk about your music, man. Let's talk about your very first major placement.
Very first major placement would be Layzie Bone. Layzie Bone.
Okay, I was about to go into the whole bone.
Yeah, I grew up on Bone, so I love him, man. So my very first placement will actually be, and it wasn't even a direct track with him. An artist from Texas. We did a track together, and he got Layzie Bone on it. Never really pushed it how it went, but that built a relationship with me and Layzie Bone because I ended up calling to his radio station that Layzie was on and talked to him directly. It's like, I did that beat. He was like, yo, send me more. He was like, I'm gonna email, whatever. So he said email. I emailed him and his manager. I got to know. We started talking personally, sent over some tracks. It's actually the last single that he came out with. It's called I Made It. It's on YouTube. I wasn't even a fan of the beat. Because he sent me a beat originally, like, can you remake this? I said, I can remake it, but I'm going to put my own twist on it and put my sound on it.
Right.
Did that, sent it back. By the way, they terrible on communication. I don't know if it's with every producer, but they terrible. Like, I didn't hear nothing back for about 4 or 5 months.
Bruh.
And then once I finally heard it, I got an email like, yo, you still got this number? I'm like, yeah, why, what's up? He texted me like, yeah, so this is the artwork and we're using this as a single. And I went on YouTube and seen the single, like, I heard it come on. I said, yo, I did this. I remember sitting in the kitchen putting these snares in this, like, I remember doing everything. And so hearing him on everything, it was just, amazing. And seeing the video come out, Snoop Dogg reposted the video and everything. Like, my mother, she loved it, and it was amazing. After that, 32 Bars by King Louie. That one came. That time, I was still going by the name just Bonafide Beats. So that's why everybody was, if you look that up, you would see that name under there. After the 32 Bars by King Louie came, I think the biggest one I ever did, A Dollar and a Dream about the game on the documentary too. And I did that with Cool and Dre, and that was done because I know Cool and Dre is personal. He's a personal trainer and he's their friend. By the name of Hawk, Big Rod, and me and him started working because his son does music. Relationships, it's relationships. So I started working with Hawk, doing music with him, doing music with his son, and when he was on social media, you could sense like whatever he had going on in his life, it was taking a toll on him. So I used to just shoot and check him, check up on him every other week, send an inspirational message to him. And he was like, I really appreciate that. People who I grew up with don't even check on me no more. So after that, on Dollar and Dream, we did that. And I only did like the bass line on that. I didn't really do much on it. And whatever I did, they chopped and added and did them on it. Cool and Dre did Cool and Dre. So after that, the next one after that would be The Game Again. Juice on 1992 on number 5. That was like my favorite one right there. I remember playing that for Johansson and Payday and them at the studio. And it's before it even dropped. They was like, who is this? And when I let them hear it, it was just crazy. That one right there was my favorite one. And then on this new album, writing credit, I was supposed to have something with the track with him and Nipsey, but the production I did never made it, but they still credited me as a writer on there. So I take it. I still take it.
Shoot, I'm taking it too. No,
I can't
take it, but I would take it too.
But as far as artists and music, I've been working right now. 2 artists by the name of Tanner Man and D Tiggs. They actually been making some brand movement. I think as the game has been looking at them, and YSL been looking at them. Tanner Man, he just released 2 projects, Cartier Time and The Last Supper. Both of them produced, mixed, mastered by me. Everything. D Tiggs, he just released his own.
Drumz Rosez.
Yeah, October 12th, he released his. Same thing, produced, mixed, mastered by me. They got some new stuff coming out, and the project they're working on now, which I'm excited about, is called Death Row South. So
Death Row South.
It's the whole intro, taking a whole mind for everything of Death Row from remember when Death Row was at that peak?
Yeah, and remember when Death Row was trying to, they had like Death Row East.
So that's where the idea came from. When Pac said, you believe in Jesus, believe in Death Row East.
Right.
So that whole idea came from with the Drumz Rosez DNR. And it's like the way we were moving and just, we were all helping each other. We still are. Now we still are. These projects was done in a couple months. I'm talking about if you look at them, the creativity on there really, the way we worked, it really helped the creativity flow. Because we was sitting in my living room one day, and I'm like, yo, it's EP time. We single, we testing the water. So I said, we have to let's see what we can do with the project. What you want to do? I was like, all right, well, my glasses were on the table. And I was like, put them on, go outside. He took his vape, blew smoke. I took my iPhone's portrait mode, bam, there was a picture right there. Put it up on the computer, made a little edits. Now we got artwork. What you want to call it? I said, I like Cartier Time. Let's do that one. So that's the album right there. We went through songs, just recorded, put them on there. I was like, I'll take care of everything else. Mix them, master, and then with me and him, when we work, that's why I like when the hands-on, they let me just go as an engineer. It's not, I want you to do this. It's like, hey, what do you hear? And it gives me a chance to really create and explore. The intro for the Cartier Time is, remember on Belly, how it came on? Steady. I had the whole idea of doing that. I said, I want you to say a prayer or talk to God over this. Blend it perfectly. Like it's just amazing how it came together, and just the whole transition of the songs. After that, we learned what we did wrong. All right, well, we did this wrong, did this. And we tightened up. On the next one, we went to this little nature preserve, took a picnic table, put a cloth over the picnic table, got some bread, put it on the picnic table, put some grape juice in there, taking pictures. You know, that's the album artwork. So it's like, you know, you can do everything from your phone as far as creating stuff. And we just been growing. I helped him as an artist. He helped me as a producer, an engineer, you know, doing these sessions and stuff like that. It's just been amazing. So it's just been growing, just working with him and everything. Just been going. Another producer by the name of Black Cloud, Johan, they know him. He actually works like assigned under Shady Records somewhere. He got some stuff going on right now. And he wants to incorporate me in with also. He reached out to me. He don't really talk about it and everything, but it's with, as far as I can say, it's just Jordan Lucas. So I'm just waiting on that one.
Hey,
that one gonna be. I'm waiting on that one, man.
Jordan Lucas.
So like I said, all the sacrifices I made and the time that I didn't do stuff I didn't, it paid off because now I'm being put in these positions and certain things, and I know, I can do this. You know, like I remember I was at a session and no one knew how to engineer. Everyone was in there was great at what they did, but when it came to engineering, no one knew how to work Pro Tools. He was like, I engineer Logic, I engineer. I said, well, it's pretty much the same flow. And that was my first live session. So I said, here, I got it. A couple things I didn't know, but it kicked right in. So, you know, as far as music, we just been making connections and just going. So that's just a big part right now.
Man.
So
that's what's up, brother. That's what's up, man.
Psyched, though.
Man, I got my own Bone Thugs and Harmony story, man. But I mean, I guess I'll say that too for another day. But yeah. I don't know. I may want to talk about it.
Bone, man, that's just.
Man, because we grew up listening to Bone. I remember when Bone first came out, and what was really crazy is that I'm originally from Virginia, and so there was a church that we went to in VA, and there was this guy that I connected with named Charles, and Charles actually is the father of I call him CC, but I don't ever really know his rap name now. Busy, Lazy, Crazy,
Flash,
Wishbone. Yeah, he's Wish's dad.
Oh, okay.
Not only is he Wish's dad, but he's Wish's dad and the uncle of
Uncle Charles.
Uncle Charles.
Uncle Charles. That's what I was gonna say. That's crazy.
Uncle Charles. So what was really crazy is that in the actual song, they are talking about their uncle, and it was so crazy because his brother, Charles' brother, had passed, but he was driving his Jag, and it was his brother's Jag that he was driving, and that Bone. Oh man, it was just a whole crazy thing, and I never even knew that until one day somebody was like, "Yeah, how's your son doing?" Oh, he was like, "Yeah, he's on tour right now." And I looked at him and I was like, "Who's your son?"
Right.
Oh, he's like, "Oh, you know the group Bone?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, Wish."
Excuse me, sir.
What?
That's crazy.
He's like, yeah. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in years, but it's just so crazy how you run into different people. But it was one thing that you said, kind of tying this whole thing back: relationships. Relationships matter, and I don't know if people really put enough stock into relationships.
Relationships so important, man.
Man,
I got a cousin out there in California named Business Boy. He's well known. He just got Grammy nominated twice. Worked with Party Next Door, Black. Yeah, like he's well known. He told me when he was living down here. I said, "What advice do you have?" He said, "Shake everybody's hand. Relationship is your most important asset." You know, I never asked him. I could have easily asked, "Hey, cuz, hit me with these emails so I can send them stuff." But I didn't want that. I want to do this and say, of course, people want to open doors and help you with those relationships, but that's why I asked him what advice, and I think that's like such key advice he had right there. Shake everybody's hand, because you don't never know who hand you might shake. You never know who you might. I forgot one of my other placements, Dave East. Bad Boy on Death Row from Cartier Time. I met Dave East at the Lennox. My cousins and came here from out of town. We just walked down there, and I seen Entourage walking, him a couple dudes. I seen the van. I said, "Dave East, who is this?" Looked him up. It's protege Dave East. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You know, just linked and everything, and just sent some stuff and everything over. then he just went from there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff and everything. I only had that one track with him, and it was assisted co-production, but still. So that was a relationship right there. I want to increase and make it stronger. It's not as strong as it should be because I definitely want to continue work, but just certain things like that, it really helps. Just shake hands and.
Man, relationships. People don't really realize relationships are the key to this industry.
He really is.
Like you could be the dopest producer, you could be the dopest engineer, guitarist, whatever it is. But if you don't have those relationships to help propel you forward, I'm sorry to say. I mean, it's the music business. Music business is built on relationships.
That's what Zaytoven said. He starts a lot of relationships. Money, though. He said money speaks. He said because if someone, especially with him being who he is, he said someone wants to work. They say, hey, all I got is $1,000 or however so much money, but I want something from you. He said it opens the door. So don't just hit him up and say I'm like a lot of artists do this. I had this experience. I'm the dopest. You know, we gonna make this. Yeah, it's like okay. So what we gonna do? You know, it's still I'm trying to work and grow and build a business. So are you? You know, we have to try to accommodate each other. So he said, you know, artists may hit you and they may say, I got this amount of money. You work with them, you may feel like, hey, you got something. That's so how Drake and 40 got started. He said 40 was a well-known engineer. Everybody knew him. Drake went to him, was like, here's a certain amount of money. I want to just work and let's just do this and I want to take it to the next level. He said he just worked. After the money, they didn't even use no money. They didn't even incorporate money anymore. They just grew and just kept going together and build and now look at them. So it's like,
man,
what would he be without that relationship?
That's right. I mean, but it's a balance of both.
Balance of both.
Like you said,
help each other.
You gotta one help each other, but two, it is the balance of business because it is the music business, right? So there's profit that needs to be made, money that needs to be generated, and there's also the relationship aspect, and you can't sacrifice one. Kind of like marriage, right?
Yeah. Right.
But you can't sacrifice one without the other. Like you gotta still be in this business to make money, but you still need the relationships to put you in the rooms and places where you need to be in order so you can continue to make money. But when you sacrifice the relationships for the money, then that causes an imbalance in what you're really trying to do in this industry.
Southside produced from 808.
808 Mafia.
He said when he first started 808, he wanted 808 Mafia just to be a big household name. Bunch of producers. That's how I feel with Drumz Rosez. I want that to just be a name people hear like, oh, I know the name and everything, but which producer is this? You know, I want, even if it's just me, that's fine, but if other ones come on and everything, I just want to take it to another level. And he said, if you chasing music, if you're chasing just straight money, you're not going to go far. He said, money's going to definitely come with it, and of course, that's what everyone wants, but you have to love your craft and love what you do. Because once you love what you do, the love for it is going to take you to a whole level. Love overcomes everything. So you can go back to the Bible with that, Ecclesiastes 13. You know, without love is strong everything. So even with that, your love for it is to take you there where you know certain sacrifice is going to put you in certain positions to where you just making money. Like this is what you love, and you're loving to do your dream. This is what you've been dreaming to do. Your love for this has took you here. You're not chasing just that one specific thing. You know, you can pass up on so many relationships and everything because of, well, you know, you ain't got the money right now, so I can't do it. You know, I'm not saying money shouldn't be involved, especially when it's a business, but barter. You know, like I know artists and everything I deal with, like, hey, I want a verse. I'll give you 4 beats, exclusive rights, everything. Just give me a verse. You know, it's like, especially if you are an artist that I really want to work with, I don't have the money right now. So let's just try to work it out now. Or how about you charge $400 for a feature? I give you $100 and 3 beats, something like that. You know, just work around it.
Yeah.
Just if you want it, try to work. You know, barter.
Yeah. Because I'm getting ready to barter with somebody because I did some work, but I don't want to say that on camera.
Right.
But I did. I'm going to street barter because I was like, yeah. So that's gonna come up, but it's gonna be beneficial. But bartering is beneficial,
Very beneficial
for both parties involved, depending on what you're really bartering. Because if I am contributing a lot and it's not really beneficial on the other end, then maybe the barter may not work out. So you got kind of like favor, right? So so you need to really figure out if you're going to use a bartering approach to business, then you really need to figure out how that's going to work out for the both of you, with the understanding that this bartering thing needs to start moving into actually generating, money.
Even if you like personally know, man, I help you moving, I help you move. Don't worry about it. Just do this for me, this feature or whatever for me. So it's just bartering, but then it also comes back to relationships.
Yeah,
so that's the most important.
That's right.
That's real important.
That's right, man. So what advice would you have for people getting into this music industry?
Another person I know, relationship, like I said, his name is Kurt. He's an audio engineer down here. He mixed 2 Chainz's first album based on a true story. Didn't go to school for it, platinum plaque and everything. Like I asked him, what advice, what do you, and like he told me, there's no rules. I mean, certain moral standards, things you go by, but as far as mixing and what advice I have, take advice from everyone, listen to what they say, but incorporate, just follow your own, incorporate everything into your own. Like there's no right or wrong way to mix a track. There's certain things they say you should and should not do, but if it sounds how you want it to sound, how can you tell me it's wrong? Like I know people who start off when they're mixing, they EQ compress. I know people who compress and then EQ. So just take it.
Well, wait a minute, you compress and didn't EQ? Oh no, that's wrong.
See, right, exactly. How people tell me like that? Oh, it's wrong. But just go about it your own way, and just be you. Don't try to be this person, but take everything from everywhere. Take advice from here, advice from here, advice from here, and just put it in one, because that's going to make you who you are. Yeah. So that's the advice I would offer right there.
That's what's up. Yeah, my homie AJ Amon Jackson, he's an engineer down here. He never, like when he teaches class, he doesn't really talk about the tools that he's using. He's always like, listen to what you're listening to. Don't worry about how the EQ looks, right? But listen, does it sound like it's supposed to? And if it does, don't worry about how that EQ is looking. Of course, you don't want all your clips, all your tracks to be clipping all in the red, right? Like, oh, that's how I want it to sound. I'm sure that's probably not it.
No.
But if it sounds the way that you want it to sound, then that's how it's supposed to sound. Yeah.
Another engineer, Layzie Bone, mixing engineer for Pharrell, everybody, he said, if you can hear it, 9 times out of 10, it's working too much. When he compresses, he said, if I hear it compressing, it's too much. So he take it off.
No, you can hear compression. Oh, you can hear it clamp down on it. Oh, yeah.
And he copies a lot of his EQs from one vocal, put it on the other channels and everything. And he was like, who says I can't do this? I won Grammys off of doing this. Who says he's not doing it right? So obviously, he's doing something right. It's working for him.
It's working for him.
Whatever works for you is going to work for you. So let it go like that.
Man, that's right. Anything else you would want to say as far as advice?
Relationships, build relationships, shake hands, and don't burn bridges. Oh, don't burn bridges. Like if communication, that is so important right there. You gotta, if you're gonna be late, if you can't make it, if you can't do something, just communicate. Communication, relationships, that right there, it's just so important. The communication and burning bridges, because you can burn a bridge with someone could be so healthy for you and for what you're trying to do. And it's like, man. So I wouldn't try not to burn bridges. Yeah. Protect your energy around you. Certain people aren't going to be good for you. You have to try to win them out, recognize it. Don't be afraid to cut people off. Because some people might not be best for you.
Like, man, you may be that person that can give me that placement, though.
So after the placement, cut them off. Don't listen to me. Listen, don't take my advice. Just listen.
But people do find themselves in situations that they really shouldn't be in because they're chasing something, and they don't want to say no.
Those are sacrifices you have to make. Now, those are certain sacrifices that you like. Yeah. Can't be afraid to make it. It may hurt. You may say to you, but you may like, I could have been here last year, but I did this. But just don't worry about where you could have been. Focus on where you're going right now. Because once you get there, you're gonna be like, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I've done this. I'm glad that I went through. And you think Jay-Z take back anything he went through now? Nah. All the doors that were shut in his face. Nah. Kevin Gates had Young Money. Everybody closed the door in his face. Look at him now. He has his own thing. He's if those doors wouldn't have got shut, imagine where he wouldn't have been at.
Man,
his doors has been shut in our life. There's not even in music industry. It's jobs are shutting doors in our face. I had a job I was at for 8 months. As a temp, they wouldn't hire me on. Boom, closed the door. Fired me that day. The next day I started working at another company. Making more money, been there a couple of years, everything was just better. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I had just moved into a new place, What am I gonna do? What are we gonna do now? Kids, but
and that can cause a lot of stress. You're like, man, what am I supposed to do?
Tension between you and your spouse, and it's just like, But then boom, the next day everything happens. And it's like, you know, like I'll say but real quick, my mother, she my dad was hurt in a airplane accident. He got hit in the head by an airplane propeller. And he was in vegetable state. My mother gave her last $200 to the church, or $100, I believe, and she didn't know what she was gonna do the next day. Like a light bill, something was due. She was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? I'm just gonna trust it. Very next day, one of my dad's friends came over and we did a fundraiser for you. Here's $500.
Wow.
Everything worked out. Like even, you know, like how do you explain that? You know, it's just.
Oh man, those things bring back memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. Trust. Yeah, I remember one time we didn't have a vehicle, and out of nowhere, this couple. Well, it wasn't a couple. It was a mom and her son, and she came and she was like, "Yeah, my son just, we want to give you this car." We were like, me and my wife were like, "What?" It's like, "Hey, we know you didn't really have transportation at this time. We want to give you this car so that you're able to do what you need to do."
It's crazy.
Like it's so crazy the way things work out, but that came from a relationship that we had with them, and it was a blessing. Like we just want to be a blessing to the both of you.
Right.
Like yo, wow.
You appreciate stuff more.
Yes.
You
got
appreciate
that right.
stuff so much more when you go through stuff in certain trials, and when you overcome it, you look back at it like, man, I really appreciate certain things now, and it makes you value certain things.
Because it's the trials that really make you. If you're just looking for an easy, comfortable life, and you're just like, oh, I'm just looking for the A&R to help me make it real quick, or I just need to jump on Instagram and get 800 million followers real
Blowing
quick.
up over one night.
Right.
That's why they can't follow that. They have no trials that really went through to that. It's just it happened. Hey, I don't even know. It just happened. I'm just here.
Yeah. See, man, that gets into character development and a whole bunch of other things that I don't even think a lot of that's missing. A lot of it's missing today from the whole the music scene. But man, I know we could go on and talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But man, so before we even run out of time, my brother, tell people where they can find you.
You can follow me, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Drumz Rosez. DRUMZANDROSEZ. That's Twitter, Instagram. Facebook, just search Drumz and Rosez. It's the only one on there, only one with a Z. You will see it. That's you can follow me at. Stay updated with everything I've been doing. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to Tanner Man, D-Tigs, everybody who's helped me become who I am, my family, everything. And my boy Core, he's actually Team Human. It's the thing he has going on. And it's just real positive. It's just pretty much describing everyone is human, no matter what you are. Gay, black, white, age, skinny, small. We all are part of the same team, Team Human. And he got some water that he's working on and everything, called Human Water. So that's something to be looking up that we're working on also.
All right.
And shout out to you, man. You gotta have credit to you and what you do. This is it's amazing, man.
Man, I appreciate it.
Blown away. So,
appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Gotta appreciate you, because without this relationship, I wouldn't be here right now.
Hey, without the relationship that I have with my boys, and your boys too. I mean, the
Payday
same.
now. I seen Payday. I said, hey, man. What you got going on? So yeah, you got to
Payday, 40 mil. It was so crazy after the interview with Payday, 40 mil called. So we set up and had a conversation. So whenever he gets down here, that's when I'm gonna have him on. Yeah. And then Johan say, what I'm saying, there's all the brothers. But man, it's been a pleasure, brother, having you on the show, my dude. Man, we're gonna have to do it again because we got too much to even
talk about.
Man, we got too much to talk about. Yes. But ladies and gentlemen, definitely appreciate you tuning in to another episode of We Create Music TV. You can catch us every Thursday at 7 p.m. for some great interviews and more to come, so be on the lookout. But thank you very much for tuning in. Have a fabulous day. Peace out to everyone out there. Once again, my man Drumz Rosez, appreciate you being on the show, brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we out.